So I have with me today two amazing ladies. I have the young Amrita Sandhu, very, very young emerging filmmaker, audiovisual artist, and the fabulous Anna Mudeka. Anna Mudeka is a dancer, she's a musician, she's the director of the Southborough Music Festival and an entrepreneur as well. And I know that that's a really short introduction because I'm going to let the ladies tell us a little bit more about themselves. I am fascinated with both of you. Amrita, tell our audiences rather a little bit more about yourself.
Okay, so I'm an emerging BAME female-led audiovisual artist and filmmaker. And during the last 5 years, I have been working with performing arts and capturing it using image, light, and sound. My work grows from the partnership between the digital world and performing arts and technology, and expressing it through audiovisual installations and performances. I have worked in collaborations with dancers, sound artists, and spoken word artists to allow their story and messages to be shown through digital platforms. My work is usually focused around identity, integration, migration, and movement. And I've captured this through exploring innovative and creative ways of reflecting the rich diversity of the UK. So that's a bit about me.
That's an amazing introduction. Wow, I have so much over there that I'd love to know more about. But we're going on to Anna. Anna, tell us a little bit more about you fabulous woman, you.
Hello, so my name is Anna Mudeka, and I've been performing for about 25 years. I started my career in Zimbabwe when I was 14 years old, and I haven't looked back. So part of what I've been doing since I moved to Europe was to use music as a tool to educate and share the positiveness of African cultures through working with children in schools and also working in the community. My work also kind of goes into businesses. And recently I started putting shows which kind of really started a discussion on kind of some of the misunderstandings we have about different cultures. So in 2016, I stopped performing with my band and started looking into creating a show that really challenged minds and started discussions on what it was to be me, to be African, and kind of just really trying to give people an understanding of the culture, the richness of the culture that I come from. And it wasn't just to the Western audience, it was also to my people. And through kind of mixture of cultures we now have in Zimbabwe, some of the knowledge of our ancestors has been lost. So it was really, this show for me was important, but then I realized that it is all our stories, you know, everybody's migrated and everybody has rich cultural heritages, and I wanted to celebrate mine.
I think that the two of you, I couldn't actually think of a better partnership, frankly. I just think you both are so amazing. And of course, we're going to talk about the fabulous film that you've made together. I want to know a lot more about the film, this beautiful film. Like, both of you are working with migration, identity, culture. And the film, of course, is called Who Am I? And I want both of you to tell me a little bit more about this film, because I watched it. I was fascinated, not just by the visuals, which, Amrita, by the way, I have to say are fantastic, but with a lot of the lines that you included in the script. So tell me how this film came to be. Who wrote the script? Who came up with the title? How did you decide what you were doing?
So the idea, so I had an idea in my head. So when applying to the application for the Arts Council, I had this idea in my head. I've always wanted to work with using light, projection, sound, imagery through the use of obviously film, and that connection, I feel like it engages with audiences as well. And that's what I wanted to do, was engage with an audience. And obviously using the ideas of migration, identity, obviously the best person to work with I knew, who I'd obviously seen perform live, was Anna. And when I'd seen her Kure Kure theatre production, it was like an inspiration for me. So yeah, so the idea came across when I saw this dance piece of Anna's, and I don't know, I just, as soon as I saw it, I just wanted to work with her, obviously. And the idea of like identity and finding yourself, and all I could think of was the idea of who am I? So finding your identity, moving to a different country, finding your identity within the British like society as well. And yeah, so that's how the idea of the title came about. And then slowly from there, I emailed Anna, we worked together, we came up with a script of how what to say and how the video was going to go along. And yeah, I mean, Anna, if you want to expand on how we work together on this.
I just loved your whole approach in terms of, you know, when we actually finally met in a space, your command and your knowledge of what you're passionate about just really came through. And I just loved the way that you managed to bring the whole, just one sentence, you know, who am I? The way you captured the whole emotion, the dance, the music. It was just really, really fascinating and a real honor, because, you know, I'm also a fan of your work.
Thank you.
And I really wasn't there kind of when I was your age, you know, I was busy having fun, whereas you've got a really straight vision of what you want. And it's just a pleasure. It's a real joy to work with you, and your passion really shows.
Thank you.
My God, I love listening to the two of you. How fabulous this chemistry is between the two of you. It's just wonderful. But tell me, you mentioned a dance performance called Kure Kure. What does Kure Kure mean?
Kure Kure means far away. So part of the show that I developed, the theater piece, I wanted to say to my audience, Kure Kure, I come from a very long way. So what you see when you see Anna Mudeka is a richness of ancestors stretching back 8,000 years ago, and kind of putting those links together of, you know, part of it was to research, to take a year out of music and actually really start speaking to the elders in my family and the community and say, okay, my name is Anna. I have this surname, I have this totem, I have these parents, grandparents, but what else? So it was kind of trying to understand that. And bit by bit, I just discovered this amazing information of the migration that is part of my ancestors from when we started to what is now modern day Zimbabwe. And Kure Kure also talks about my journey then from Zimbabwe to the UK. So it's all migration that has made us travel, and my ancestors travel. So I put that in a 90-minute show, which I perform on stage with drumming, dancing, singing, and everything, you know, you name it. It was a very, very busy show, but I just didn't want anybody to then come back and say, who are you again? Because now you've seen all of me.
Well, it's like Amrita just said that, you know, we have the culture that goes back thousands of years, and yet we are now in a different place. So we've migrated geographically, we're in a different place, and our identity and culture evolves, and it encompasses new experiences, and we become different people. And I have to say, just as a little spoiler for the film that everybody's going to watch very soon, this beautiful film that you both have made, that my favorite line was you coming to terms with everything and saying that you're making yourself ready to become an ancestor. And that line just made me, it just made my hair stand on end. It gave me the shivers, because I just thought, isn't that all of us? We're sort of trying to bring ourselves together, our identities into our own selves, into our soul, so that we can then give off that. It was just beautiful.
For me, I think because in the African belief, we don't, once the body dies, the flesh goes into the soil, but the soul still lives on. So it lives on through the wind, through the waves, through so many different aspects of life. And somebody said this to me before, that, you know, you go to a place sometimes and you're convinced you've been there. You can't explain why, you can't explain how, but you know this place. Now, something is telling you something here about, you know, we're not here alone, you know, we're still guided. And part of our ancestral world lives with us on this earth. They're still part of us. What makes you turn left instead of right when you're walking? What makes you decide, oh, maybe I'll go this way today? And then you find out something has happened in the direction you were going to go. So I strongly believe that we can't be that arrogant that we make our lives happen how it happens every day we wake up, because I think there is mighty powers that help us and direct us and guide us on a daily basis. And we should honor and celebrate them.
I think you're so right. You're absolutely spot on with that idea. Amrita, just to come back to you, I know that you developed this new skill very recently with a grant from Arts Council. And I know that there's a lot of people out there today trying to go into the digital space, trying to find the same kind of skills. Can you give everybody out there just a little tiny inkling into maybe what it is that you work towards? Did you have some of these skills before that you managed to get the grant from Arts Council? Is there some kind of helpful hints?
Yes, so I applied to the Develop Your Creative Practice fund. And as an artist, I've been using the idea of film to capture imagery. So I've developed this skill already. So from the age of 16, I had developed this skill of film and capturing image and using it to show a message. So I wanted to develop this further, and I found out about the Arts Council grant that I could apply for in order for this to happen. So I applied as an artist, and I wanted to use this as a way of developing my pre-existing skills already, as I had the idea already in my head of what I want to achieve by applying to this grant. And I wanted to be able to take the idea of motion graphics and illustration and animation and combine it with the idea of reality. So I combined that, and yeah, so I think as a tip, I would say for existing young artists is to kind of have an idea of where you want to go with your skills already and what routes you want to go down. And if you have a clear mind and you find grants like this or Arts Council release grants, I really highly recommend knowing exactly what you want to do and having ideas in your head that you know that you want to be able to develop further. So yeah.
I think that's really useful to know, because I think a lot of people, when they go into trying to apply for something like this, it's really wide. So I guess what you're saying is keep it really, really sharp, very focused, and hopefully have some skills towards it already. Yeah. So you can develop it rather than coming in with new stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. And I think what we should do now is actually show the film, because we've talked about it. It's just so fabulous. The film was due to be showcased in July at the Norfolk World Music Festival, which of course, due to the pandemic, was cancelled. And the two of you, both Amrita and Anna, decided that they would do this online. And I'm so pleased that you have, because now more people will get to watch it for a longer period of time. And I hope that it inspires everybody to do something like this, because I personally think it's an exquisite piece of art.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who am I? I am a child of the soil, guardian of the earth. I am a mother, a daughter, granddaughter, a sister, a friend, a cultural activist. And my journey to becoming an ancestor has only just begun. My culture, my identity, my beliefs, my DNA has made me who I am.